If you've been wondering why you're not seeing any new pictures out of Burma at the moment, the reasons are ominous. Obstinately flying in the face of global condemnation, the junta has shut down all communication with the outside world. Decent information about what's going on in the pariah Asian state is scant, including disturbing reports of the massacre of maybe thousands of pro-democracy monks. Dr. Sein Win is the Prime Minister of the National Coalition Government of the Union of Burma. He's also chairman of the PND, the Party for National Democracy, the party of Aung San Suu Kyi, 1991 Nobel Peace Laureate, leader of Burma's democracy movement, and probably not coincidentally, Aung San Suu Kyi's cousin. When the PND romped home in the country's elections in 2000, the military refused to give up their unelected power, and from then until this latest crackdown have presided over a reign of terror and suppression. Dr. Win's return would mean jail or worse. We spoke with him earlier today from Washington as Burma's Prime Minister in exile. Doctor, at the moment things are looking very dire in Burma. Is your country doomed, or is it still salvageable?
Well, it is still, you can rescue it, but the international community, the United Nations, has to act quick, because as you know, things are deteriorating. We know about the repression against the people, the terror method they use. The people are scared, but at the same time very angry.
So when you say they have to act, Doctor, we're hearing a lot of hand-wringing, a lot of chest-beating, a lot of righteous comments and even hollow threats. But what can the rest of the world do to rescue your people?
Well, first, of course, the United Nations has to pass a binding resolution. If the military ignore the statement, ignore whatever the initiative taken by the UN, then I think the member country has to act unilaterally or bilaterally and has to put pressure on the military, has to help the people inside, has to help us.
But for 45 years, Doctor, they've been ignoring any threat, any action that's been taken or words that have been spoken. I mean, why should now be any different? I mean, they ignored the fact that you and your party were elected.
Yes.
We're talking about regime change here, aren't we?
Yes, because now is the situation really bad. When you look at the people on the streets, the first problem is because of the economic situation, as you know.
Right.
The price hike of the fuel, and this remains the same. It has not solved. And country is deteriorating very much, you know. In 88, it is already very bad, but not that bad as now. We don't have time.
What kind of action? Are we talking about much tougher sanctions, real sanctions? Are we talking about military intervention?
Well,
what are we talking about?
Yeah, tough actions. And, you know, this effective action, sanctions, and also to help us, you know, to help the democratic opposition, to help the people inside who are fighting against the military. You know, they need lots of intelligence or information technology, and things you are seeing at that time in September are from the opposition taking out.
Doctor, I hate to draw a comparison with, say, Iraq, but in Iraq, the United States and the coalition of the willing felt that actual military intervention was all that would work, rightly or wrongly, against Saddam Hussein in Iraq. Is that ultimately going to be the only option open to the world?
Well, I would like to explain to you that the military has really saying no. For example, they said they will not release Aung San Suu Kyi before the Constitution has written. What left if the Constitution is already written? What left to negotiate? The peoples are following, wanting to solve the problem in a peaceful way. We don't know how things will go from now on, because if the military ignore the people and the international community, what else? I mean, alternatives has the people, you know.
Yeah, at the moment, though, your country is a closed country. I mean, hardly any information is getting in or out. We don't even really know what's going on there. We hear now of possible deaths in thousands, that monks have been taken off to the jungle and slaughtered. What's your information at the moment?
Well, the worst is happening. In the night time, they raid the house. They have taken photo, videos, and they are threatening very clearly that they will pick up anybody they like appeared in the photos and videos. And they did that. They are doing this now. And people are put in a center in an appalling condition. People are tortured, especially the 88 generation leaders are tortured, and we are very concerned about that. Some died, we know that, because of the NLD member, but we don't know how much have died, and they are wiping away the evidence.
It's a terrible situation, Doctor. It's a really dire situation. If the people were to rise up, could we see mass slaughter as a result? Something far worse than 88?
Well, I don't know. I am not certain about the rising up of the people like now or like in 88. Of course, if they rise up, they have to face another round of brutality like now. Mm-hmm. You know, the military seem to be resolved to use the force, brutality. That's I'm certain.
Why is it that these military monsters, we're all agreed they shouldn't be running your country at all, what is it that's allowing them to bluff the rest of the world into inaction?
Well, the rest of the world is following what you call international law and all those, mediations and all those things for a long, long time, and they are not that kind of civilized regime. We are calling for dialogue, and and then also the countries who have real interest in our is the country in our regions, mm-hmm. And they are not doing any kind of concrete actions.
Right, we're talking about China and Thailand and India here, are we? China, Thailand and India?
Yeah, Thailand and India. China used veto to block the resolution at the Security Council, and India should do more,
Yep.
And, these things are happening that keep them in power.
Doctor, what of Aung San Suu Kyi? She is the symbol of the pro-democracy movement in your country, the symbol of your party's stand against the military. What of her? We've heard lately that she's no longer under house arrest. She's in prison. What do you know?
Well, so far we know she is under house arrest. And Mr. Gambari should meet her again when he will go to Rangoon and talk with her. And, we want to know what Mr. Gambari will bring back the news this time.
Mr. Gambari from the UN.
Something concrete. So we are all waiting to see what he could bring concretely.
Doctor, thank you very much for talking to us, and I hope next time we talk together that things in your country have improved somewhat.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Burma's Prime Minister in exile, Dr. Sein Win, earlier today. Coming up, the rise of ultra-Orthodox Jews. Do they pose a threat to Israel's secular way of life?
אלו שמאשימים את הציבור החרדי בחוסר קשר עם הציבור החילוני, זה בא מתוך בורות.